line into some equal number of parts, right?
You told that net
Yes,
square
sir.
method.
Set square method. I'll show you that. But before that, let me discuss, because this class and in the next week class, okay, in that means within next week we will finish the assignment number 1. So let me first discuss few of the engineering curves first, and obviously the set square method I'll show you. Let me just check once I can show you that first or not. Please hang on 1 second. Still people are joining. Okay.
Sir, like the previous class, you will also share the link of this class.
Yeah, sure. I'll share it. I'm recording that, so.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay. So let me first show you, as you were talking about the set square method. Let me share the screen. So my screen is visible, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
So I'm actually this set square method. Actually, I'm not having in slides, so I'm just taking the help of YouTube. You can also search in YouTube. There will be several videos, but let me explain how you are doing. You can see here. Yes, you can see these two set squares. You can see, right? You
Yes,
can
sir.
see. Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay. So just you see, these are the two set squares. This right one, this one is the 45 set square, and the left one, this is my 30/60 set square. Okay, because the from the point of view of the included angle. Now using these two set squares, here it is shown that how we can divide any straight line into some your equal number of parts. That part may be your 7 equal parts, 8 equal parts, whatever you require. So let us take first a straight line. We are taking a straight line first. Okay, say this is the straight line. This is the straight line. In this straight line, I have to divide some equal number of parts. Okay, so the first step that you should take is that from at at this point you have to draw an inclined line. Very simple. Okay, at any angle you can draw this line, inclined line, at any angle of any length. Okay, not much long, but you just take as per your convenient space and all. So this horizontal line is the main straight line. Say for example, okay, say this straight line is your say for example your 10 centimeter. You have to divide into some equal number of parts. Now how many equal number of parts, I don't know here in how many equal number of parts he will divide, but rule is whatever the inclined line you have taken at this point, say this point is A, this point is B. So from this point A you are taking an inclined line at any angle, any acute angle. Now say for example this straight line, horizontal line, I have to divide into 8 equal parts, say for example. So if I have to divide this straight line into 8 equal parts, I have to take my compass first. Okay, I have to take my compass. I have to fix an arc length. I have to fix an arc length. He will do that. Let us see. Yes, on this line you have to take some arcs on this inclined line. Okay, now here let us see in that how many arcs he is taking. So this arc length, remind, this arc length, there is no rule for this. Okay, this arc length may be of your any arc length. Okay, but that arc length should be, that arc length you should not be changed. That is the main rule. You take your compass, you fix an arc length. Okay, not very much large, because that will take much, because how many number of arcs you have to take, that also you have to keep in your mind. So fix a small arc in your compass like this, and just don't change that. Using that arc length, whatever you have fixed in your compass, you have to take some arc points on that inclined line. You see now, small arc length you have fixed, and just I will see how many equal arcs he is taking on that inclined line. 4, 5, 6. Let me skip a part so that, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think they have taken 7, 8. Let me skip so that you can. Okay, say how many parts. Okay, how many arcs he have taken? Let us see that first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 10 equal arc points. Okay, here it is taken very small arcs. That's why you may not be seeing this. It may not be visible to you right now. So here 10 equal arcs he have taken on this inclined line. That means what? I have to divide this straight line into 10 equal parts. So this thing will be provided to you. That means that you will be knowing that this straight line will be divided into how many equal number of parts. So if I know that this straight line should be divided into 10 equal parts, okay, then how many equal arcs I will take over here on this inclined line? You tell me.
10.
10.
I-
Exactly equal.
10.
10.
So 10.
10 exactly equal to that. Okay, whatever the number of parts I need on this straight line, number of equal parts, same number of equal arcs I have to take over here. There is no, again I am repeating, there is no particular size of the arc. You can take any arc, but all this arc length should be same. Okay, that is my point. Up to this, any doubt?
Sir, what they are teaching, we will continue doing that. Means in the copy.
In the copy means I'm not getting you. What you are asking?
Sir, means what?
I am
what-
explaining the set square method.
Yes,
Okay, with the
we will
help
do
of
that in
YouTube.
our copy.
Yes, you will need this. You have to use this method while you will draw some
No,
diagonal
sir.
scale.
Now, currently.
Now,
Yes.
no,
Yes.
now you just try to understand it. Okay,
Okay, sir.
try to understand. You can practice it later. And
Okay,
I'm
sir.
also recording this video. You can see afterwards also. So you just try
Sir,
to
I have a
understand
question.
this. Yes.
Sir, what he took the angle between these two lines? Is it variable
Any
or it will
angle,
be
any
constant?
acute angle. Angle may be 30 degree, 45 degree, 60 degree, any acute angle. Just take a inclined line like this. There is no rule for that. Is that fine?
Okay, sir.
Okay, now see. So here you have taken 10 equal arc points. Okay, so this point, see my just cursor, this point is the last arc point. Okay, so this point is the last arc point and this point is the last point of the line. Okay, I have to join these 2 points. I'm repeating, last arc point to the last point of the line. If I try to divide this straight line into 7 equal parts, then 7th point will be your last arc point. From that arc point to the last point of the line you have to join. But in this case, as he is dividing into 10 equal parts, so last arc point is this one, 10th arc point to the last point of the line he will join now. Okay, you can see that. Okay, now see, using these 2 set squares you have to draw. Just you have to draw some parallel lines. So here I don't know he is just drawing this last line or not. So first, as I told, last arc point to last point of the line you have to join. Okay, last arc point to the last point. Next thing is important. Yes, just you see he is showing last arc point to the last point he is joining. This is the last arc point and this is the last point of the line. Okay, now see here, whatever the line you will get, now see the placement of these 2 set squares. One set square you are using with the for the alignment, one set square, this is the 30-60 set square. Okay, this one you are using for the alignment of the last line, just you are drawing and you are also aligning with. Okay, another set square whatever you are having, place it over here. That means just like this, adjacent to this, and keep this set square in your left hand with the help of your left hand, and keep that fixed. Keep that fixed. I'm repeating this. This is the last point to the last point of the line to the last arc point of the line. So this you are joining with the help of a set square. You can join it by scale also, but you are aligning with one of the set square. Another set square will be placed exactly like this. There should not be any gap in between. Okay, so it will be just aligned like this. And this set square, this will be not fixed. This set square will be fixed by your left hand. Okay, so that if this set square is fixed, this one will slide over this one or not. This set square will slide over this set square or not. You tell me. If this set square is fixed,
Yes,
if,
sir.
and
It
I'm
will slide over.
Yes, sir.
okay,
Yes, sir.
just I'm trying to explain you, because it is obviously it is very difficult to explain you over here, but still that's why I'm taking help of a video. Okay, so that you can see how he or she is just sliding one set square. So two set square, one will be fixed, another will be sliding. But you are not supposed to fix this set square first. First you align this set square with the last arc point to the last point of the line, that line you have joined. Then you place this set square, then you fix it. After that, when you are fixing it, obviously this set square will slide over that. Horizontally it will slide. Now let us see. It will be clear. He is just pressing with the help of left hand, it is fixed, getting fixed. Okay. Now see, it is sliding or not. You can see the video. Last arc point, you see, just it is, now see, just it is sliding. When it is sliding, you will just slide back, and at each of the arc point you will draw some parallel lines to the last line, because this will be not moving. If this set square moves, obviously the lines that you are drawing, that will be not parallel. See the video carefully. Only this set square is sliding, you see, this one is not moving. On each of the arc point that I have taken earlier, I am drawing some lines which are automatically getting parallel, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
You see, at the end, up to the last arc point, this is the first arc point. So you see, now this is not getting, this is, now you just remove. Now see, in how many parts it has been divided? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. This line has been divided equal to 10 equal parts with the help of set square. Now tell me, what is the doubt? Okay, so this
Sir,
is
we
a
can do it with the
Yes.
help of roller scale. It will be more easy.
that's why I have not explained you till now the use of roller scale. Okay, because this method you have to know at least. Okay, roller scale you can do it, I know, but you have to know this method for the use of the set squares, because in some cases if you do not have your roller with you, okay, roll and draw with you, then you can just draw this with the help of these two set squares. So okay, so you, for my suggestion is to use this method for dividing the straight line into some equal number of parts. Okay, again the last part I am showing you. Yes, any doubt?
Sir, after
Hmm.
getting the equal part, we'll rub those inclined parallel lines.
No, everything will be as it is. Okay, because that is the proof that you have done with the help of the set square method. Okay, you don't need to remove those, you don't need to erase those. Okay, that you have to keep. So I'm just again showing how the set squares are fixed and it is sliding. We just see this one is fixed, okay, and this one will be sliding over that. I will take 2 minutes. Those who have not understood, again you see. Just this set square is sliding, okay. This will be not moving, okay, this will be fixed. If you just move a bit this set square, these lines will be not parallel, okay. So this is the process. Okay, using this you can divide any straight line, any particular length of straight line, into any number of equal parts. Okay, one thing you have to remember, only the equal arcs. How many equal arcs you have to take on the inclined line? You have to take equal to the number of parts that I want to divide the main line. Clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I'm going to this thing. My slides are visible, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you see, In your assignment number 1, question number 1 we have discussed in the last class. Today we'll try to discuss question number 2 and 3, but let me see how much time it permits. So question number 2 is basically, as I told, from question number 2 up to question number 5. Question number 2, 3, 4, 5 are basically of 4 different engineering curves, special type of curves. Okay, that we basically that type of curves are each and every moment somewhere it is generating. Okay, but we don't know about that. So first one we will discuss about this cycloid. Okay, what is cycloid? Cycloid is a engineering curve. Okay, cycloid is a engineering curve. How it is traced? Basically, here it is written. You can see it is a locus of a point on the periphery of a circle which rolls on a straight line path. Let me explain in a simpler way. I am having a circle, okay, or I am having a wheel, whatever you can take. That circle is rolling without slipping. Here it is not written, but that circle should not slip. So a circle is rolling without slipping on a straight line path, not a curved path. On a straight line path, it is moving. Now I am fixing one point on the periphery, of the circle, on the boundary of the circle. I am fixing one point, and I am trying to trace that point, the position of that point, how it is changing while my circle is rolling on the straight line path. Okay. Now see, this circle will roll and roll. So we will trace over here for one full revolution. For one full revolution means how much straight line path it will run the circle from a particular point. If a circle is rolling one full revolution, say for example the diameter of the circle is d, how much straight path it will travel? Anyone? If the diameter is d,
2 pi d.
what will be the
Sorry,
length of the
sir,
Pi d.
pi d?
pi d.
2 pi r. 2
Yes,
pi r,
2 pi r.
Sir, 2 pi r.
2 pi r or pi d, same thing. So that for that pi d distance, we will try to trace that point, that how it is changing. Okay, how the position of that circle is changing, and whatever the curve that will be generated due to that movement of that particular point. Okay, for one full revolution of the circle, that curve is known as your cycloid. The definition is a bit clear. I'll show you that how it is generating, the method how to trace it. Okay, that is basically we'll just going to discuss. But definition is, it is a locus. Cycloid is an engineering curve traced by a particular locus of a point which is located on the periphery of the circle, and my circle is rolling without slipping on a straight line path. Is that clear? The definition of cycloid? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now
Yes,
be
sir.
more clear when we will take a particular example, and how the question will come to you. Obviously, that should be known to you. Okay, let us take a particular problem. Cycloid. Read the problem. Here in the problem, there nowhere it will be written draw a cycloid. You have to know what is cycloid. You read the problem. Draw locus of a point on the periphery of a circle. Okay, which rolls on straight line path. That means you have to draw a cycloid, isn't it? From the question, it is clear to you or not that which curve you have to draw? It is clear.
Yes, sir.
And take the circle
Yes, sir.
diameter as 50 millimeter. This will be provided in the problem. What will be the dimension of the circle? Now circle diameter is my 50 millimeter. Okay, it is given in the problem. And draw a locus of a point on the periphery of the circle which rolls on a straight line path, means I have to trace cycloid. I have to draw cycloid curve. So what are the steps? Let us see now. Okay, these are some steps given, but you will try to listen to my words. That I think that will be enough. Okay, you can see these also. Okay, but I'll show you by the help of animation for each and every step. First step, you have to draw the circle. Okay, taking this dimension, that means diameter is given 50 millimeter, that means radius is my 25 millimeter, or 2.5 centimeter is my radius. Taking that as radius, you have to draw this circle first. Okay, next you have to draw a straight line, okay, which should be tangent to this, and obviously it should be horizontal, perfectly horizontal. Okay, if this line is, it should not be inclined, this line should not be inclined. Yes, it is touching the circle, but if you draw something inclined like this, then that is not allowed. So you, with the help of your roll and draw, first you can draw a horizontal line through this center of the circle. Okay, then parallel to that line you can draw a horizontal line, perfectly horizontal line. Now this is the straight path, okay, on which it will now roll. You can see the direction. This is the clockwise now. Let us, for example, we are taking clockwise direction, it is trying to roll, and we will roll it for one full revolution, as I told. So for one full revolution, we have to trace up to pi d. I have to calculate pi d distance. Okay. So that, obviously that I will calculate afterwards. Now the next step is to divide this circle into some equal number of parts. Okay. How many equal number of parts has been divided over here? 8 equal parts, you can see. Okay, you can divide into 12 equal parts also, that is up to you, but standard is 8, not below 8. Okay, why I am telling that, means why, if I divide into 12 equal parts, what extra thing, what advantage I may get? This question may arise in your mind. If I divide into 8 equal parts and if I divide into 12 equal parts, yes, obviously if I divide into 12 equal parts this circle, my drawing will be a bit complicated. Not complicated in the sense, all the steps will be same, but more number of parts. Here you divide the circle, more number of locus points you will get to join the curve, and more number of locus points you join, you get to join the curve, more accurate will be your curve. That is the very simple funda. Okay, but standard is your 8. How to divide? I have to explain that. I think you just you can do this by own, but still I am telling you, first you divide the circle into 4 equal parts just by taking this horizontal line and this vertical line. Okay, then each of the part you draw a 45-degree angle. Okay, this is my 90-degree, so if you divide this angle or bisect this angle, you will get 45-degree angle, and extend that line into the other part. And same thing here also you do, you divide this part into 2 equal parts and you extend to the other part. So you can divide this circle into 8 equal parts. Okay, now you have to name it. Okay, how to name it? This naming is very important. You see, as my circle is rolling into clockwise direction, you see my numbering is also in clockwise direction. Okay, from this point you have to start. This is my point 1, point 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this is the last point, 8th point, or P point. Basically this point we will try to trace. That means when it will roll, this point we will trace for one full revolution of the circle. Is that clear? This point will be traced, P point, or this is the same point, 8th point, the point at which my circle is touching the ground. Okay, now you have to draw some parallel line with the help of roll and draw. You know how to draw, basically roll and draw, those who are having roll and draw, how to draw parallel to this line, because first you align the scale of the roll and draw with this horizontal line, then you press a bit that roll and draw and drag it up or drag it down. If you drag it up, just reach this point, C is the center point, and you draw this line. So these two lines will be parallel to each other using roll and draw. Don't use directly scale, so that those may not be exactly parallel. Okay, use roll and draw. Now I have to take pi d distance because I am interested to trace this point P for one full revolution of the circle. One full revolution means the circle will roll up to pi d distance. Okay, in the straight path. That's why pi d separately you have to calculate. Okay, on your drawing sheet, and you have to show how much this value it is. You have to write here, they have written pi d, but you have to written just you have to write pi d equals to how much value in terms of millimeter. Now once you have taken this pi d, you cut the same length, on this central line also. This line is called central line, which is passing through this center C. Okay, now you have to divide this pi d length. Basically pi d is starting from this point to this point. That means from this C point to this end point. End point means just you take a vertical line over here so that you will get the end point on the central line also. This pi d distance you have to divide into 8 equal parts. Okay, 8 equal parts. Now you can divide this C to this end line. Okay, from C to the end line directly you can divide this straight line into 8 equal parts, or this bottommost line, this horizontal straight line, that means from the point P to the pi d length, you can divide this line into 8 equal parts and just take some vertical lines up to the central line so that you will be getting this C points. What are these C points? You can see my main goal is to divide this central line C point to the last point pi d length, last point. That length you have to divide into 8 equal parts. So naming will be C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, C8, C7, C5, C6, C7, C8. Can you tell me what are these? Basically, what is the physical significance of this C1, C2, C3, and so on these points?
At the center when the circle will rotate on the horizontal
Yes,
line.
yes, very good, very good, very good, very good. Basically, my circle is rolling. You see, my circle is rolling. So P point will obviously go up. Okay, I don't know how it is going. So I will trace that later. But my center will also move. But center will be moving obviously on a straight line if my circle is rolling on the straight line. So this C1, C2, C3, C4, these points are nothing but the locations of different center points when it is rolling, and C8 is the last center point for one full evolution. Okay, so you can divide this line directly by set square method. Obviously, what will be the process? The set square method. Or you can divide the bottommost line and you just take up by using vertical lines so that you will get this C points. Now why into 8 equal parts over here? Anyone? Why I have divided this pi d length into 8 equal
Sir,
parts?
because circle is 8 parts. Circle
Very
is
good,
anyway
very
into
good, very good. If
Yes, sir,
you,
circle is 8
yes,
part.
circle has been divided into 8 equal parts. If I divide this circle into 12 equal parts, obviously I have to divide this pi d length into 12 equal parts. Keep that in your mind. If someone want to get more precise curve, they can divide circle into 12 equal parts. For that, this pi d length also should be divided into 12 equal parts. Okay. Next step, these type of lines you have to draw again with the help of your roll and draw from point 1, and which will obviously pass through point 7. If you have divided the circle into 8 equal parts perfectly, the line, horizontal line coming from point 1 should pass through 7, and that line will run up to pi d length. Okay, similarly from point 3, which will pass through 5 and will run up to pi d length. From point 4 also you have to draw a horizontal line exactly like this up to the pi d length. Okay, up to this, any doubt?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, now I'm coming
No,
to
sir.
the last step of this problem, because I have, my main goal was to trace this point P. Now I will trying to trace. I'll be trying to trace. Take your compass. Okay, listen carefully. Take your compass. Take this length CP in your CP length in your compass. CP length. Okay, that means the radius of the circle. Nothing but the CP length means the radius of the circle. Take this much of length in your compass. Place it at C1, first center point, C1. One leg of the compass is placing at C1, and you cut the first line. First line means this line, the line which is coming from point 1. Okay, that means this much of length. Okay, that means just you can see one straight line from this C1 to this length. So you have taken CP in your compass, you place at C1 and you cut at the first line. So here you see first line and seventh line is same. Okay, so here as I am placing at C1, I am calling the first line. So you will get an intersection point over here. Mark that point. Next step should be, don't change that arc length. It will be CP or the radius of the circle. Place it at C2. Place your compass at C2. Cut the second line. Second line means which line? The line which is coming from 2, or it is nothing but the central line. Okay, it will cut somewhere over here. That that is basically overlapping. That's why you can't see right now. Let me take the example for the third point. Next, taking the CP, don't change the arc length. Place your compass at C3. Which line I should cut? Which line I should
Third
cut?
one.
Third line. So
Third
third
line.
line and fourth line is same. Yes, I will cut the third line. I will get a point over here. From C4, I will cut the fourth line. That means it will just touch the topmost line. From C5, which line I will cut? Fifth line.
So fifth line.
Now see, fifth line can be cut on the left side and also in the right side. Which side I should cut?
Right side.
Try to
Right side.
understand my
Right side.
question. Placing at the C5, I can cut this fifth line, this horizontal line on this side and also this side. But I am not supposed to cut on the left side. Why? Because my point,
Parallel.
this point I am tracing, point P, it is rolling on right hand side. It is rolling in the clockwise direction. So as my circle is rolling in clockwise direction, obviously my P point will shift towards right or left. Obviously towards right, isn't it? This is the midpoint. This fourth point is the middle position. Okay. Then if it rolls more, the circle, if it rolls more, obviously my point will shift towards right. Okay. So I'll cut over here. Okay, not in the left. Yeah. Okay, that will be wrong because my circle is rolling on the right side. From C6, similarly, I will cut, okay, on this central line. From C7, I will cut on seventh line. Seventh line means 1 and 7 line is same. From C8, I will cut the eighth line. Eighth line means again the straight line. So this is again the final point. So P point is the starting from this straight line and it is moving something like this and it is again coming back to the straight path. Now, once if you mark these points, it will be more prominent, you see. So these are the points that you have just right now cut. And if you join these points, whatever the curve I will get, that curve is known as your what curve? Cycloid, isn't it? So how to join now?
Yes, sir.
How to join these points? With the help of French curve, not by your free hand. Okay, with the help of your French curve. Now you have to take your French curves and you have to check how to join. Basically, the rule is, try to understand the rule. There is no particular rule that for cycloid this French curve will be used, or for epicycloid or for other curves this cycloid will be used. No, you have to check that which French curve is fitting with this path. For that, you take first 3 points. The rule is take first 3 points, take and you take your French curve and try to align. Check which face of the French curve is aligned with this first 3 points. Okay, so first 3 points, once it is aligned on the face of the French curve, join first 2 points by your pencil, leave the last point, join first 2 points. But I am aligning first 3 points, but I am joining first 2 points. I am leaving the last point. Next, what I will do? Next, I will align this point, and this point. That means next 3 points. That means these 3 points I will align on the face of the French curve. Which 2 points I will join? These 2 points I will join. Is that clear? These 2 points I will join. This point will be left.
Sir, can you repeat?
Yes, I'm repeating.
Sir, can you repeat once more?
I'm repeating. Try to understand. You have to take any of the French curve. You have to check which French curve is aligning properly with the first 3 points, face of the French curve. Okay. Now, once it is aligned perfectly with the first 3 points, join first 2 points by your pencil. Leave this part. Leave the third point. Okay. Take out your French curve. Now, next you check which face of the French curve is aligned for the next 3 points. Next 3 points means this, this, and this. Next 3 points. Clear? While it is checked that it is perfectly aligned with the face of the French curve, next 3 points, which 2 points I will join? These 2 points I will join or not? These 2 points I will join?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Next step will be just going on same. That means this point, and this point I will now try to align. I will join these 2 points and so on. This is the process. Align first 3 points, join first 2 points, and so on. But you may face some problem while the points are far apart. while the points are far apart, you may not get, that means these points may not align properly with the face of the French curve. Basically, there are so many French curves, so many sizes are there, so that's why it may not align with the French curve that you are having. When it is not coming with the face of the French curve, then you are supposed to join smoothly in your free hand. Okay, otherwise not. When it is coming in the face of the French curve, you have to use the French curve. Okay, otherwise you will not get a smooth curve. But when the points are far apart, you have to use your free hand for joining. Okay, now if I join, I will get a curve. Okay, these locus points, you can name it like this: P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, P6, P7, P8, like this.
Sir, I had one doubt. Sir, that C3, P3, C4, P4, are they all equal in
C3,
length?
don't mix up with C3 or P3. C3 is the central points, center points. P3 are the cut points.
No, I am telling C3, P3, that line, C3,
C3,
P3, that
P3.
line.
This line
And
is
C4,
equal to
P4, that
obviously C4, P4.
Yes.
Is
Yeah.
equal to obviously, yes,
Means all of
because
them are
I'm
equal.
taking
The
CP
radius.
line. Radius, that I'm not changing. Okay, just taking the radius in my compass, I'm placing at different C points and I'm cutting these P points. So obviously this length will be same, isn't it? Okay, now
sir,
if I
yes, sir.
join, I will get a curve something like this. This curve is known as your cycloid. Okay, is that clear? Is
Yes,
that clear
sir.
to everyone?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But
Yes,
if
sir.
you still, if you are
Sir,
having any
one
doubt,
second, can I?
you can see the recordings, because I have to discuss something more. Yes, still I can take one question. Yes, anyone was asking
Sir, how to divide the circle in equal parts?
how to divide the circle. It is very basic. First you draw the circle, center you will be having. First you divide the circle into 4 equal parts. How to divide? First you draw this vertical line, then you draw this horizontal line. You are getting 4 equal parts or not? 4 equal parts you can getting. Then each of the part you just draw 45-degree angle, or you just bisect this 90-degree. Okay, you will get this line. With the help of scale, you just extend on the other side. So this side and this side will be divided into 2 equal parts. Same thing for this part and this part. Is that clear?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
how to calculate the pi d distance?
How to calculate the pi d means d is given in the problem. Pi
Okay,
into
sir.
d, just you have to calculate. Okay.
Okay.
Here they have not calculated, you have to just calculate it. Okay.
Okay.
And you have to show that how much that length is. Okay.
So this kind of picture, I think we can't draw in our drawing book because it's a large picture.
No. The whatever the size it is given in your question, you can draw it in your sketchbook. Okay. In your sketchbook, you can draw easily. You can draw. Okay. If you see from question number 2 to question number 5 in your assignment, in each and every problem, you have, I think you may have seen, draw the tangent and normal to that curve also. That means this curve I have drawn, cycloid curve, and I have to take any point, say for example, anywhere you can take any point on the periphery of the curve. On that particular point, you have to draw tangent to that curve and normal to that curve. Okay. So for the cycloid, let me show you the tangent and normal to the cycloid. Okay, tangent and normal to cycloid. Now cycloid, say up to this curve I have got. Can you see the curve? Up to this whole construction method I have discussed. Okay, so this is the cycloid. Now I am taking a point on the periphery of the curve. Let this point is my Q. Let my point is Q. At this point Q, I have to draw normal to this curve, cycloid curve, and tangent to this cycloid curve. How to draw that? Listen carefully. Again,
You can take any point.
Yes, you can take any point. But if in the problem it is specified, if in the problem it is specified that you have to take this point, or how you will take a point, that according to that you have to take this point. Okay. Otherwise, you can take any point. If it is given in the problem only, draw tangent and normal, you can take any point. You take this CP, again this radius of this circle in your compass. Place your compass at this point Q, cut the central line. That means this C line on which C1, C2, C3, C4 are there. This much of length you have to cut. How much it is? It is nothing but CP. So take CP in your compass, place it at Q, cut it on the central line. You will get an intersection point over here. From that point, okay, this is by CP. From this point, you drop down a vertical line on the straight line path, which will cut at a particular point. Let that point is my N over here. Okay, so this vertical line is cutting this straight line path at N. Once I am getting this N, take your scale from this point N, join Q and extend. That is basically the normal to this cycloid curve. Okay, is that clear? Normal, is that clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now once I'm getting normal, it is
Yes,
very
sir.
easy. Okay, once I'm getting normal, how to go?
Sir, can you
Get
once
that-
repeat this? Normal.
Okay, normal. I have to repeat. You take any point. Again, I'm showing. You see. Take any point. Take your compass. Okay, take your compass. Take this much of distance CP or the radius of this circle in your compass. Place it at your point Q and cut it on this central line. Okay, on which, that means the line that is coming from C or the center, on which C1, C2, C3, C4 are there. So this is my CP. You can see this is my CP lane. So once you are getting this intersection point, you drop down a vertical line from that point, exactly vertical line, which will cut the straight line path at a particular point, which is N over here. From this point, join Q and extend, just using your scale. That is your normal to the cycloid. And we know that tangent and normal makes 90 degree. So at this point Q, with respect to this normal, I have to draw a perpendicular. Okay, so this blue line is my tangent and this pink line is my normal. Okay, is that clear? Very simple.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So this
Yes,
is
sir.
the way how to draw the tangent and normal to the cycloid. Okay. Okay, so we are having 10 more minutes. So let me now show you the epicycloid. The question number, this cycloid, I think it is in your question number 2 of your assignment number 1. Now, question number 3. Question number 3. Question number 3, exactly the values may not be same. Values will be different, obviously. Next curve is my epicycloid. What do you mean by epicycloid? Cycloid we have understood. Cycloid was a circle, a single circle was there and it is rolling over a straight line. But here you can see, okay, don't get panic with just seeing this curve, this type of curve over here. Each and every step will be explained. But I'm just showing you that I am having a circle. Okay, I am having a circle which was rolling in the case of cycloid, which was rolling on straight line. But here now it will not rolling on straight line. It is rolling on a curved path. You can see, or I can consider there is a larger circle and there is a smaller circle. Okay, the smaller circle is rolling over the larger circle. I repeat, the smaller circle, or it is basically called rolling circle. Don't call it a smaller circle. The rolling circle rolls over, okay, rolls over it, over the curved path or the larger circle. That larger circle is known as your directing circle. Okay, larger circle is known as your directing circle, smaller circle is known as your rolling circle. Which rolls? Rolling circle is to understand very easily, because rolling which rolls, that's why this circle is known as your rolling circle. So when my a smaller circle is rolling over a car path, okay, or over a directing circle, again I am just taking a point on the periphery of the rolling circle, and if I trace that for one full revolution of the rolling circle over that car path, whatever the curve I will get, that is known as your epicycloid. The definition is clear? Definition is clear? Epicycloid.
Yes, sir.
Main point is you have to understand my rolling circle is rolling over a curve path. Okay, because next graph will be next your drawing or next question will be your hypocycloid. Let me tell that hypocycloid also over here. Only single difference is there. This rolling circle will roll under this curve path. I'm showing you. You see, the same type of, the concept is same, methods are also same. Here this is my curved path or the directing circle, and this is my blue one is my rolling circle. It is rolling under the curved path or under the directing circle. That curve is known as your hypocycloid. But we will now discuss epicycloid. Okay, so let me show you in slideshow. You read the problem. Draw locus of a point on the periphery of a circle which rolls on a curved path. You see, nowhere it is written draw an epicycloid or draw a hypocycloid, draw a cycloid. Nowhere it will be written. From the question you have to understand, draw locus of a point on the periphery of a circle. That means on the periphery of a circle we are taking a point and we are tracing that for one full revolution, which rolls on a curved path. On a curved path means I have to draw which curve? Epicycloid, right?
Epicycloid.
Epicycloid.
Say
Epicycloid.
sir.
Now yes, fine. So now here the two diameters or two radius will be given. One is for rolling circle, another is for directing circle or for the curved path. Okay, so you see the take diameter of the rolling circle is given and the radius of the directing circle is given 75 millimeter. Okay, be careful over here. Okay, which one is given in terms of radius, which one is given in terms of diameter, that you have to take care of. Okay, so these two dimensions will be given in the problem. Now see, the first step is to take a point. First step is to basically draw the directing circle. Basically to draw this directing circle or this curved path. Okay, the radius is given 75 millimeter. So you take this O point, O is the center point at any position in your page, and you this capital R is how much as per this problem? Capital R means
75 millimeters.
75 millimeter. Okay, small r means radius of rolling circle. Small r means 25 millimeter as per this problem, because diameter of the rolling circle is given. So from this point O, you are taking 75 millimeter and you are drawing this directing circle. No need to draw the full circle because I'm not interested in the full circle. The rolling circle will be placed over here, and for one full revolution only we will track that. Okay, so just draw some part. Okay, like this. How much I will tell you just after some time. This is my directing circle. Okay, next I will draw the rolling circle. How to place this rolling circle? Anywhere you can place. Anywhere you can place this rolling circle. Now how basically from this point O, you draw a straight line like this, which will cross through and which will pass through basically. Okay, this is the rolling circle, generating circle. And how to place this? Basically at any position you can place. Initial position is okay, final position you have to fix. Initial position you can place anywhere. So from the O you just extend this and this straight line which will cross through this surface and just extend this line on this side, on the outside. Okay, from this, that means this straight line will cut this directing circle at this point. So how to draw this circle, I am just explaining that. This straight line is cutting at this point. Now from this point you take the radius of the rolling circle on that straight line, so that you will get the center point of the rolling circle and you draw the rolling circle. Okay, so this is the initial position of the rolling circle. This rolling circle is rolling, say for example, in the clockwise direction. Okay, now here you see in the similar way you have to divide this rolling circle into 8 equal parts. Okay, that I am not repeating, and you have to name it exactly like this, because my circle is rolling into clockwise direction. My naming also should be in the clockwise direction. And this is my point P, which one I have to trace. Okay, so up to this there should not be any doubt. Now this is the initial position. What will be the final position? The question may arise, what will be the final position of the circle? Now in the earlier case cycloid, it was the pi d distance because that was rolling on a straight line. But here my rolling circle is not rolling on a straight line. It is making some angle, right? One full revolution, say after one full revolution it is coming somewhere over here. So that will create a sector, basically angle or sector at the center, create an angle on this directing circle. What is the value of that angle? You have to calculate that. Here no need to calculate the pi d distance. Here I have to calculate the angle theta. This is the equation. Basically theta is equals to small r by capital R divided by 360. I am showing it here. Let me show that. Okay, now you can calculate that. You can calculate that, okay, that theta. Now I think they are calculating after few steps. Now you take your compass, okay, you'll calculate that theta, keep in your mind, you will calculate it. Now you take your compass, place it at O, okay, place it at O. O to 4 will be your radius, whatever the curve they have drawn, you can see that, okay. O to 4 is my radius, and you draw this curve, okay, just up to this end. Similarly, this is the angle theta that I was talking about. Theta is how much? Small r by capital R into 360 degree. This is the formula to calculate. Theta is nothing but small r is the radius of the rolling circle, capital R is the radius of the directing circle, and for 360 degree rotation of this small r, that means this rolling circle, what is the angle generated at the center of this capital R? This is the equation theta, okay. This is the equation theta, within which you have to calculate this angle, and you have to take that much of angle within which your curve will be confined with. So take this angle theta and close this up, okay, like this, and whatever the angle you have got, divide that angle into 8 equal parts. Divide that angle into 8 equal parts, okay. How to divide? Just go on bisecting whatever the angle you have got. First you bisect that angle, you will get 2 parts, okay, 2 equal. This angle you have to calculate, okay, this angle you have to calculate it. And first you bisect that angle, okay, you will get 2 equal parts. Each of the part you divide, you just bisect again. Each of the part you will get 4 equal parts. Each of the part equal parts. Go on bisecting 3 times, you will get 8 equal parts. So divide this angle into 8 equal part. Now whatever this arcs you are drawing, complete that arc like this, okay. From this point center C, from this point center C, that means you have to draw an arc. How to draw this arc? By same fashion how you have drawn the arc from the point 4. This O point will be my center, O to C will be my radius, and I will draw an arc like this. Similarly, from all the points, okay, this is the final circle, you may not draw this, no need, okay. Other curves, center point will be my O, O to 3 will be my radius, O to 3, whatever the curve you will draw, whatever the arc you will draw, that should pass through 5. So 3 and 5 will be on the same arc and complete the arc up to the end. Similarly, O to 2 will be my radius. I will try to draw an arc. That arc will pass through 6, okay, and it will run up to the end. Similarly, O to 1, which will pass through 7. That means O to 1 is my radius, and I will draw an arc which will pass through 7, and it will run up to the end, theta end. Now you see here, this C arc, central arc line, this central arc line and this 2, 6 arc line are separate, okay. Very small gap will be there. Don't mix up with these 2 arc lines. O to C is a separate radius, O to 2 is a separate radius, okay. So O to the C, this central arc line is separate, and this O to 6, that means O to 2, this arc line is separate. Now you can see rest of the part. It will take 2 more minutes to complete this, because rest of the part is similar to the cycloid. You see now, these are the central points as we are having in the cycloid. C1, C2, C3, C4. These C points are lying on which line? This central arc line, okay. On this central arc line, these points, intersection points, okay. These intersection points, this is the C1, this is C2, okay. Intersection of this angular division and this central arc line, these points are C points, okay, up to C8. Once you have got these C points on the central arc line, last step is same like cycloid. You take CP, okay. You take CP in your compass, place it at C1, Which line I should cut? Which arc line I should cut? You tell me now. As I told,
So
same
one
like
to 7.
One,
One.
one, sir.
1-7 arc line is the same arc line, okay. You see, this is the part, okay. I know I am going a bit fast because your AutoCAD class is also running, in the sense also will start, also will start after 5 minutes. So just let me complete it. Obviously, if you are not getting some steps, you can see the recording, this part will be clear if any doubt is there. or you can just call me up also. So last step is again same as I told. If the C points are clear, I think everything is clear. CP will be taken. So from the point C, take this first arc, cut this first arc line. First arc line and seventh arc line is same. Similarly from C2, cut the 2 arc line. 2 months, the arc line that is coming from 2. Here you will get a point. From C3, you will cut third arc line. That means 3, 5 arc line. Okay. Is that clear? If any doubt, please ask, because this is same like cycloid. From
Yes.
C4, you will cut the fourth arc line. That means it will just touch the arc. In cycloid, it was a straight line, and here it is arc. That is the difference. Nothing else. Okay. From C5, which side I should cut? Okay, quickly tell me.
Sir,
Right
5.
side.
5, sir, 5.
The right side.
Yes,
Right
fifth
side.
line. Yes, fifth line and on the right side. This point. From 6, it is the point. From 7, this is the point. Okay, these are very easy. I'm not explaining each and every step because it is exactly similar like cycloid. This cutting last step. And from C8, this is again it will touch the directing circle. You can see. Okay. Now whatever the cut points you have got, I am just marking those separately so that it will be more clear. Can you see these points? Can you see these points? These locus
Yes, sir.
points?
Yes, sir.
Just join it by your
Yes,
French
sir.
curve. You will get your curve, which is known as your epicycloid. Okay. So you have to practice it. Otherwise, it is very difficult to draw. My suggestion is practice it today, at least these two curves, cycloid and epicycloid, because today you have learned. If you practice today, each and every steps will be much more clear to you. And also hear the recording. I will try to share this recording in your Google Classroom within the evening. Okay. And this tangent normal with this
Okay,
curve
sir.
I will discuss on the next class. Okay, because today we are running out of time. So in the next class we will complete these curves and we will finish up the assignment number 1. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Here. Okay. So I
The
think
attendance
I
for the
have
next
made it
class.
clear.
Attendance.
So thank you for attending, and quickly you just try to join the.
Sir, the attendance we will
AutoCAD
get from the
class.
next class, AutoCAD class.
Yes, I will give the link on that class. Okay.
Okay, okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
See you on the next.
Thank you, sir.